Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video from myself. Today I'm going to be doing a bit of a video response to Ginger Hippy Gaming 42, and I've actually seen another video response to it already from Generation Pixel, and it's on top 5 things in your collection that you find embarrassing, and also top 5 things in your collection which you love. So it's a bit of an interesting one because it's not necessarily about, you know, the typical kind of things that you show off in your collection. So I'm going to get cracking now, and I'm going to do the same format as Generation Pixel, where I pick one thing first, which is an embarrassing thing, and then I'll do something which I think is something that I love in my collection, and we'll see where we end up. So hopefully we find some interesting things out of this video. The first up is one of the embarrassing ones, it has to be said, right? Now this game here, not many people know about this game, I'm going to guess, unless maybe you heard it by way of the playground when you were younger. It's impossible to tell if this was where these immortal phrase in the playground came from, I don't know. But I'll tell you what the long name for the game is. The long name for the game is International Commission for Universal Problem Solving. But thankfully that's a bit of a mouthful, so Thor Software, who made the game, decided to shorten the name of the game to iCups. Now, everybody's heard this, you know, on the playground when they were younger, the whole spell iCups thing. You know, spell iCups, I-C-U-P, you know, we all know that's what it's going to turn out to be, but, you know, everybody said it at one point, right? So, is this where this came from? I don't know, but I remember being a little bit embarrassed back in the day when I picked this up because I hadn't heard the whole ICUP thing. So when one of my friends asked me what was the latest game that I got, and I told him it was called iCups, it was a bit of a laugh all round, to be honest with you. And the game itself is a fairly generic space shooter. There's not really that much I can say about it. I don't really know why it would be called the International Commission for Universal Problem Solving either. It makes absolutely no sense, to be honest with you, right? But it's just a strange game with a strange name, and it was a little bit embarrassing, it has to be said. Not much, but just a smidgen. So next up, I'm going to do one that I actually love in my collection. And this one is a bit of a one which is... It's a guilty pleasure, it has to be said, right? And I wouldn't have liked the game if I don't like the source material. It is Masters of the Universe, the movie game. Now, I always remember going to see Masters of the Universe when I was a kid in 1987, Cannon Cinemas, Union Street, Glasgow, and it was the first film that I ever went to see in the cinema. And so when the game came out, I wanted the game so bad, you know. But at that time, I didn't have a micro, I had a Master System. And it was only a couple of years after I got the Master System that I managed to persuade my parents that I needed a micro to do micro things like typing and coding and I don't know, whatever we used to do on those micro computers. You know, we used to sell them as they were quite an educational thing as well as gaming, but inevitably all we did want to do was play games in them. But yeah, so Commodore 64, got that, and got this. Well, I wanted to get this game, but I didn't get it originally. I actually took a copy from the local library, and because the library used to give out Commodore 64 games, you could rent a game out of there, you could even copy it if you wanted. That's exactly what I did. So I got the game from the library, I copied it in my mum's hi-fi at the time, and you know, I had the Master System. I'm calling it Master System. I had the Masters of the Universe. I was going to say DVD, but it was a VHS at the time, obviously. And I had it photocopied, a cover, and I put it in with the cassette, and that was my copy of Masters of the Universe movie. So years later on, and I actually went and picked up my first ever official copy of the Masters of the Universe movie game. It's not a rare game at all. It's a terrible game, obviously, to be honest, and it's just one of those ones that I really wanted when I was a kid, and I'm just happy. I'm so happy to now finally own a copy of it. Now, on to another one which is an absolute embarrassment in the collection, and it is Hello Kitty and Friends on a Nintendo 3DS, or DS as I just call it. Why do I have a copy of this game? Well, it was bought for my then, I think she was 5-year-old kid at the time, and you know, she took a couple of looks at it and decided that she didn't like it either. She thought it was absolute rubbish. And now because of that, I am left with this copy of Hello Kitty and Friends in my collection. I can't really say that I've tried it, but it's a bit of a tough one to explain why you've got it sitting on the shelf. And you know, if she doesn't like it, then there's a chance that I'm not going to like it either. So I don't think I'm going to bother playing Hello Kitty and Friends in the future. But it's there if the notion ever strikes me. Now back to another one which I actually love having in my collection, and I wasn't a Sega Saturn owner back in the day, but my best friend Kevin at the time, he owned the Saturn, I owned the PlayStation, and I used to go around and play all the Saturn games of his, and used to be quite jealous of some of the games on the Sega Saturn. I'm sure he was quite jealous of some of the games on the PlayStation at the time, but that was just how it worked. Between friends, we got to experience the whole of that generation at the time. But what the game that I was most jealous of back then was this game here, Panzer Dragoon 2 for the Sega Saturn. It is just an absolutely epic game. It's beautiful. It's got a great FMV intro. It's got as far as shooters go, it's got a great story. It just feels like, you know, there's atmosphere in this game. And at the time, the graphics were absolutely insanely gorgeous. So I absolutely loved this game. Obviously, because I never had a Saturn, I never got my own copy until much later. And I think I picked this up back in about 2015, and I haven't let go of it again since, because there was no way. You know, this is becoming quite expensive, this game now. It's not rare by any means, right, but it's just one of those games that people want because it is a damn good one. On to another one now which I find quite embarrassing. It's this game for the PlayStation 1. I got this back in the day actually. It's Overblood, and it's a bit like Resident Evil, except you have no weapons and you can't kill anyone, and all you do is wander around aimlessly trying to find batteries and get over ledges for no reason, and loads of other daft puzzles that you just think, what were they pissed when they came up with the idea for this game? I have no idea. But this was one that was quite heavily featured on Robert Florence's Consolevania. I'm not talking about the actual show that made it to TV, I'm talking about the little kind of show that him and his friend made up and kind of published it on the web before YouTube was a thing. And I remember seeing it on that and just pissing myself laughing, because, you know, it just reminded me so much of what I thought about this game. Thankfully, this isn't a game that I paid full price for back in the day. I picked this up from Electronics Boutique, but I think I paid something like $7.99 for it back then, out of their kind of pre-owned bin that was there at the time. It's just a laughable game. You know, there's nothing good I can really say about this game, except maybe that the FMV was quite nice. The choice of characters was just ridiculous. You're this kind of bald guy with a beard, and there's just, you know, where's the fun in that? You know, everybody else was having, you know, you playing as Lara Croft with big boobs and stuff like that, and, you know, the females and stuff like that. And there comes a game that puts you in charge of a hairy guy or a hairless guy with a beard, you know, and it just, what is the point in that, you know? It makes no sense. Yeah, it's just a ridiculous game. On to another one now that I love, right? It's this game. Now, this isn't a rare game by any means, and it's not one that most people would consider to be, you know, a collectible one, but for me, it took me so long to get a copy of Street Fighter 2 for the I'm going to say Genesis. I'm too Americanized. It's the Mega Drive, right? It's the Mega Drive. And, you know, when I was younger, my mum and dad weren't exactly made of money, They didn't get me a Mega Drive until much later into its lifespan, and at the time, you know, I didn't get a copy of Street Fighter 2 for a very, very long time, basically until I bought one in around about the year 2000 in a car boot sale. At the time, when I got my Mega Drive, I was stranded with games like Marco's Magic Football and Eternal Champions, you know, the real kind of trash of the Mega Drive, if you speak, I guess. But this game, I'm just so happy to have this game. I can finally play this game with the 6-button pads the way it was meant to be played. And thanks to a recommendation from someone on YouTube, I think it was GameZone Birdroom, it was an updated version of this that I ordered from AliExpress and managed to get. Is it Super? I can't remember. Is it remastered version of this game now? And I've been playing that as well, and that's awesome as well. But yeah, it's just such a good game. It's a classic, and I'm just stoked to absolutely own this game. This one's a little bit embarrassing because it's just a little bit seedy, you know, a little bit dirty, you know. It's this game here. I actually feel the case is actually quite sticky on this just now. It's Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball, I was going to say. But yeah, I mean, you know, I just remember back in the day, all the little guys going into the game shops and trying to get their hands on this game, thinking it was going to be like a full-on game porn experience, you know, but under, you know, it's just a pretense really for a little bit of ogling some 3D models, to be honest with you. There's nothing really dirty in the game. It's just a bit seedy, right? But yeah, I've got this game and I've put it in to check that it works. It came in a bundle as part of that lot that I got from Sore Thumbs Retro Games. But also if that wasn't enough, I've actually got its sequel as well, Dead or Alive Extreme 2, with updated graphics and even more semi-nude Japanese 3D polygonal models, I guess, in there. And yeah, this one's a bit sticky as well. You know, this is the trouble when you get these games, is you don't know where they've been, and you know, there's definitely a bit of stickiness to this game. I don't like it. So yeah, I'm definitely a bit embarrassed about that one. The wife has not seen this. She does not know I have this on the shelves. If she does, she would be shocked. She wouldn't really. Alright, let's move on to another good game. Another game I'm really pleased with in my collection. And it is the essential Star Wars. Star Wars, but not only is it Star Wars, it's Star Wars for the Sega Master System, my favourite console. And also, look at how nice and mint that is. Oh, and it smells good as well, I can tell you. Not only does it look good, it smells good. It smells of freshly made plastic. And yeah, it's a bit dusty up the top there. I've not been giving it enough polish. I'll maybe give it a little polish later at some point. But yeah, I just can't tell you how happy I was being a Master System owner, and during the kind of great Star Wars, growing up during the great Star Wars drought of, I'm talking about the period between Return of the Jedi and, you know, the prequel films starting to come out, or even the remaster back in 1997. There was a Star Wars drought, you know, we had no new Star Wars stuff coming out. So I grew up in that period, and all we did was we wanted to play Star Wars games and watch more Star Wars movies, and it just never happened. George Lucas, you know, he just decided, no, I'm not making any more. Until he decided he obviously wanted to make more. But besides the point. Anyway, Star Wars, an absolute great game on my favourite console of all time, the Sega Master System. Couldn't ask for anything else. Stoked to get this one in my collection. It is the Kicks version, and I am on the lookout for the non-Kicks version as well, just to kind of make me complete inside, so I don't die inside at some point. I need to get the standard version as well, because I'm a bit crazy like that. Now, on to the last of the embarrassing ones, right? Now, this one isn't embarrassing for any particular reason. By itself, I guess, it's a mediocre game, right? I'll show you. It's Winter Olympics for the Sega Master System. And it's an alright game. It's not bad, you know, as these kind of games go. But I guess what's embarrassing for me about it is, not only have I got this copy here, you know, which is the limited edition souvenir book, I also have a German copy, which has the German limited souvenir book. I have a standard copy without the souvenir book. Oh. And then if that wasn't enough, I have the Kicks reissue version. Yeah, it's just a bit much having 4 copies of the same game, and I guess for me that's a little bit embarrassing, is it not? Does anybody else do this? Does anybody else collect these variations, or is it just me? I suspect that you guys all do exactly the same thing, and you all have a bunch of crap games that, you know, are all the same on your shelves as well, with box variations and so forth, but it just seems a bit excessive. That's all I'm going to say about it. It's just excessive. Alright, the last one now for my games that I'm proud to have in my collection. And I've tried to go through this and do it from the point of view of not having loads of games from the same system, because you guys all know that I can talk about Master System games until the sun goes down, right? So I've kind of spread it out, and you might be quite surprised. On this list here is this game here, Alpha Centauri, however you want to say it, right? I don't know how you say it because I've never actually heard it said outside of normal conversation. This is Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri, Sid Meier's, I don't know how you say it again, right? It doesn't matter, it's a good game. It's a good game, yeah? Okay, right, anyway. So, Alpha Centauri, right? It's a turn-based game that's very much kind of the sequel, the unofficial sequel to Civilization. And I've kept, I know you can get it in a really small DVD box now, but I've kept this big box version just because I love all the little details that come with it. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here, because this isn't a special edition by any means, right? But not only do you get this, you get a big chunky manual for the expansion that's in there. You get the easy install guide. You get the big chunky fat manual for the normal game as well. And then to top it all off, you get this really cool poster that shows you it shows you all the technologies. My arms are getting sore. And on the other side, it shows you more about the technologies and the benefits of technologies. I just find stuff like that just absolutely brilliant, and that is what is missing from a lot of the games that you buy today, because you get absolutely nothing with them nowadays. And here it is, just a standard release. And of course, on top of all that, you did actually get a copy of the game included in there, which I have played to death, it has to be said. This is one of my favourite games of all time for the PC. I like these kind of turn-based games like Civilization, like Galactic Civilizations, like this, you know, Age of Empires and so forth. And it just shows you what we're missing out in these days, just by, you know, this drive to move to digital content, because, you know, there's so much in this. It's just brilliant. It's a brilliant game. If you've never played this game on PC, then, you know, give it a go. So that wraps up this video response then to Ginger Hippy Gaming 42 and Generation Pixel. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video and you've seen some things that you don't normally see from myself. I've tried to make it so that there's no all Sega Master System stuff in there, because I can talk about that stuff all day. In the words of Captain America, I can do this all day. I really could, but I'm not going to. I'm going to talk about something else for a change, okay? And that's what I've tried to do with this video. So I'm hoping to see some video responses from people myself, and I'm talking about you guys like, you know, your 8-Bit Boy UK, your Retro Red Steve, your Dudley of Yesterzine, Retro and Import Gamer, Geordie Slasher, Irish Nerd Life. Who else am I missing? Svalbaz Gaming, Retro Rewind, Gaming Master Race, Solution Zero. I would love to see responses from all you guys and anybody else that I've missed. So that's it. Thanks guys for watching again, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.